I know you want to crush this year, and I know you want to make as much money as you can possibly make. And one of the things that you have to your disposal right now is last year's profit and loss statement. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at it and some things that I think that you should be looking at. This way you can use it to your advantage so that you can make more money. Hey, badass business owners, my name is Tammy, and I'm here to help you grow your profits. And one of the ways that you can do that is to use last year's profit and loss statement. Now, some of you are getting it from your CPA, from your bookkeeper, or if you even do your books yourself, you have it available inside of your QuickBooks or whatever program you're using. And I highly encourage you to pull up last year's profit and loss. But what are you looking for? What is it that you want to look at? One, there is an option for you to get it by month. So please make sure that you're not just looking at the year-to-date number, but you're also breaking it out by months. And we're going to look at a couple of examples using both scenarios and what you should be looking for. So that way you can say, hey, this is what happened last year. How can I take that information this year and how can I use it to my advantage? So let's just take some highlights, shall we, that you can be looking at and some possibilities of what you're kind of looking for. So the first thing you want to look at is seasonality. Our sales tell a story. And when you pull it up by month, you can see your sales and you can see what they do. Most people are going to have some ups and downs. Some of you will be more flatline, but there are some of you that kind of have this bell that goes up. You go into season and then you come back out of season. And for some of you, you kind of do a zigzag. Everybody has a reason. It depends upon your business. But what you're looking for is, for example, in the one that I'm pulling up here on the screen, what you're going to notice is that they started off in April at $19,000, then it went to 33, 34, 32. So kind of a 3-month period where it was steady. Then it tanked down to 9, went back up to 28, and then stayed at 22. So the first thing that comes to mind is what happened in that month of August? Was there some seasonality things that happened? Was it that they ran out of product and they couldn't sell it? Was it because they just did not collect from the people? There's all kinds of reasons as to what's going on. And if it makes sense, then that's one thing. But if you're looking at it, you're like, wow, I didn't realize it dropped that much. You want to make sure you dive in, and you can click on these in a lot of cases if you have access to QuickBooks, and it'll tell you exactly what jobs and what came up and whatnot. But this is a curious one because as you'll see, it kind of then drops and then hangs up. So there's no reason for that particular month to be as bad as it was. So somebody wants to dive into it. But it's also helpful because now you can plan for next year, especially when you see those ups and downs, you know that this year will probably follow the same trend. So you're not just looking for what went wrong. You're looking at how can I use this information for me to better prepare for the year that's coming up. So seasonality is one of those things that you're looking for. So what's another one of those things that you're looking for? Well, you're looking for spikes. And I'm going to put up an example here, and you're going to see that this happens to be an expense and it happens to be insurance. Well, they do about $300 a month. Well, then all of a sudden there's this spike for $5,000 because they have to pay an annual premium. Now you're probably thinking, okay, well, that makes sense. They have to pay it. But here's the catch. Was the business owner prepared for that $5,000 hit? You see, a lot of businesses take out a lot of money out of their business. And then when the bill shows up, they've completely forgotten about it. And all of a sudden, there's $5,000 that comes right out of their account. And almost all of you have something like this. A lot of times I do see it in insurance more than anything because you do get that annual bill. So why you want to look at this and why it's important is you need to plan on that month, whatever it is, so that way you're prepared for when that hit happens again, because more than likely it's going to happen every single year and you need to prepare and have the money in your account. And if you aren't looking at your P&L, you're being surprised every single year. It's no different than the people that are surprised that Christmas happens every single December and then they've got no money for presents and all that good stuff. Why are you surprised that your insurance shows up? It happens. Same things if you have for example, a lot of vehicles and they all got registered around the same time and you see the spike of when you have to register the vehicle. Stuff like that, that's what you're looking for. Now, another area that you want to look for is you want to look for trends in your expenses. Things that stand out for a reason because they just buck the trend of what's going on. And if you look at this particular one, you're going to see that they spent $11,000, $8,000, then it dropped to 2, spiked to 6, 16, 28. This particular expense is all over the board. And why is that? That's what you want to dive into and understand what's going on. Is it because I buy a bunch of it, then I don't buy any of it, and then I buy a bunch of it, and then I don't buy any of it? Is there a way for me to even this out? Because now you have to try to plan for this. I doubt it's their sales. I doubt their sales do this exact same thing, because if it did, then that might make sense that you're spending more in that particular category because your sales go up or your sales go down. But if your sales are staying steady and yet this expense is going up and down, how is it that your business can prepare for a $4,000 swing in your expenses at random months? It makes it very difficult to do. So these are some of the things that you're kind of trying to keep an eye out for. Now, another great way that you can actually look at your profit and loss is you can compare it to the previous year. And you can compare it to the previous year, and you can do it by percentages. You can do it by dollars. I like that first pass looking at dollars. I mean, how much did those dollars change year over year? So in this example that we have, you're going to see that when we look at the entire year, this particular category this year was $22,000, where last year it was just shy of $7,000, which is a $15,000 swing in the particular business from one year over the other. Now, is it planned? For example, I've had people where they bought some retail space, or they started renting out someplace. You're going to see a spike in that. You might hire some virtual assistants or add somebody to your payroll. You might see it there. You might have added some vehicles or something, where you were using your personal vehicle, then you bought some business vehicles, and now you've got that spike. I mean, whatever. There could be all kinds of different things that are in there, but the important thing is, were you prepared for it? There are some cases where somebody will look at this and they did not realize they spent that much more on it. In some cases, this is where it also becomes important, because what if you spent more on something, but yet your sales were down? I've used the example before of somebody that their sales were trending down, but their payroll was trending up at an alarming rate. And they didn't understand that because they hadn't changed anything. They had the exact same people that they've always had. But what they didn't realize is that payroll going up, because they had given them some increases and this and that, and it became such a bigger problem because their sales were going down at the same time. So you're looking for those comparisons last year versus this year, because you're looking for opportunities. You're looking for where you may have dropped the ball. Or more importantly, you might say to yourself, hey, I need to prepare because I am going to go rent out some space, and it's going to cost me $2,000 a month, which means there's a hit for $24,000 that's going to be coming up in this coming year that I didn't have last year. And what does that look like if I did everything the same that I did before? So once again, you're just looking for those trends. You're looking for those spikes. You're looking for different things that have come up. Now, I do want to look at one other area that you really want to take a look at, and that is going to be on your profit side. So if we take this particular business, they had a profit of $64,000. A couple things that come to mind that I see oftentimes is they had a profit of 64. So the first thing that they ask is, how did I make a profit of 64,000? I don't have $64,000 in the bank. Where did it all go? And I have other videos where I've recently talked about that, where I'm talking about the fact that people pulling out money for their personal expenses, pulling out money for owner's draw, it adds up. If you take out $1,000 every single month, there's $12,000 right there. If you're using $500 for personal things, well, there's another $6,000 that are tied to it. If you have loans that you owe money on behind the scenes, that's not on your P&L. That's more money that's coming out. So a lot of times you want to go, hey, what did I do with that money? But more importantly, remember, I've talked about this. Your profit has 3 jobs. Your profit has to pay your taxes on this profit. You have to put money back into the business to reinvest in the business to be able to grow the business. Like, say you want to add something or you want to get that rental space. Do I have the profit to be able to do that? Then it comes down to whatever's left becomes your owner's draw. So please do not think of this, for example, in this case, $64,000 is for the owner's draw, because that is not the case. It has other jobs that it needs to do. Now, here's the sad part. $64,000, do they have the tax money? I can't tell you how many businesses that I talk to that did not save any of that money for their taxes. They don't know where that money went. And now they're faced with a $20,000 tax bill that they have to pay, that they just don't have the money. Or I'll have somebody that we're looking at their stuff and they're like, wow, there's no way I did that much money. There's no way I did that much sales. There's no way that I did that much spending. There's no way that my business was that profitable, whatever the case may be. Or they're looking at the trend and they don't know, wow, I didn't realize my business went up. There's all kinds of things going out there. And I'm not passing any shade on anybody, because this is reality and this is stuff that I run into all of the time. I can't tell you how many people think it's unique to them, and it's not. It is so common, which is one of the reasons why we want you to subscribe, like this video, and keep coming back, because we're going to keep sharing with you common things that are out there. So this way, you know you're not alone and other people are making these same mistakes. But more importantly, in this particular video, please pull up your annual profit and loss from last year. And I want you to look at it by month. I want you to compare it to last year. I want you to look for trends. I want you to see spikes. I want you to see things that dropped. I want you to see things that stand out to you. And I want you to get curious. If you can get into your QuickBooks, click on the number. I'm telling you, it opens it up and it will show you all the different things that are tied to that particular category. There's all kinds of fun things that you can do when it comes to your profit and loss. And if you want to learn more about your business numbers, make sure, like I said, you hit subscribe. Don't forget, I do have the Know Your Business Numbers course. I'm currently in the process of redoing and updating that. And if you get in today at the lower price, you have lifetime access even to the new stuff that's coming out that's going to probably go up in price because I'm going to put even more stuff inside of it. But please use your profit and loss. Study it, make sure you understand it. And I promise you, you're going to take that information into the new year. You're going to be even more profitable. You're going to do even more in sales. Knowledge is power. The more you start diving into your numbers, the more excited you're going to get. I love the fact that every time that I'm helping somebody out, that excitement that kicks off, it's because they started diving into the numbers, learning what the story that they're telling them, learning where their money's going, and being shocked at what they're finding out. But they can grab it, take it, and go make a difference and become more profitable. And that's what I want for you. And with that, I'm just rattling. So you know what that means. When I start rattling, I know it's time for me to get out of here and say goodbye. So with that, I will talk to you next time. Have a good day. Bye for now.